Hey everybody, welcome to another Facebook Live with Flow Living. I'm yours truly, Elisa Vitti, founder of the Flow Living Hormone Center, where we are modernizing menstrual health care around the world. I am the best-selling author of Woman Code and the creator of the MyFlow cycle syncing app. And I come to you every week to talk to you about how to feel better and live smarter in your female body. So I'm really excited to be here today with you because I've been getting a lot of questions about, what is the cycle syncing method exactly, and how is it going to change my life, and how is it going to work? And I wanted to dedicate today's conversation to this whole method that I created. So hi everybody. Hey Bethany from San Diego. Hey Anne-Marie. I also wanted to, before I dive into that, I just wanted to say that last Friday I was out amongst the streets of Manhattan doing some errands. I was getting some new under eye cream. Oh, I'm so excited about it. From Cap Beauty, and I stumbled upon a shop called Bonberry in the West Village that is so adorable, and I had lunch with a friend at a new place also in the West Village called Westbourne, which I really liked. So I was all in the West Village on Friday doing a couple things in the afternoon, taking care of myself, and at each of these three places, it was really sweet. There were people that I ran into that were watching, regular watchers of my weekly Facebook Live, who stopped me and pulled me aside and let me know that they were watching. They were big fans, and it was really, honestly, it was the first time that's ever happened to me. It was everywhere I went on Friday that was happening, and that was really special. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you ladies who made my day, for letting me know that you were watching the series. That is really cool. So hey everybody. Hey Caroline. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if this is your first time. I want to give you some special love today. And of course, let me know if you're a regular. I also want to give you special love all the time. So it's a beautiful sunny day outside here in the city, and I am just so excited that spring is here. Yay! It has taken a long time for that to happen. And hey, Jocelyn from Curacao. That is so cool. That is where I went on my honeymoon. Beautiful place. First time, welcome. That's a cool place to live. So like I said, today we are going to be talking about cycle syncing, the cycle syncing method. So I know, Jocelyn, people don't know that island enough. It's so beautiful. Hey, Katie from Michigan, welcome back. Ciao, Linda da Milano. Benvenuta. Happy to have you here. I rarely get to speak Italian anymore, although I am teaching my daughter. She's learning French, though, my daughter. She's in a school where they speak French 3 days a week and English 2 days a week. So she's now really conversational in French at 4. It's pretty awesome. I love that. Hey Eva from Latvia. Will there be Q&A time? For sure. I'm going to kind of breeze through this today. Hi Allison from Portland. With a name like Elisa Vitti, you would have to assume that I speak Italian on some level. One would hope. And actually, it's a dream of mine to get my books translated into French and Italian and Spanish. I know it's already German and Russian and Czech, I think. So working on the other 3 languages. Yes, est très génial, Caroline. So let's get into it. Yes, tag a friend, get your girls on this chat, on this Facebook Live. I love that. Give out that good ovary karma by getting your friends plugged into the Flow Sisterhood. Hey, Ellie in London. Thank you. So glad to have you. Thank you. I'm so glad you love the book. And since you guys are my insider community, I should just let you know that many of you have been watching me and have been hearing me drop little comments about how I've been working on my second book. Well, I'm actually now, I turned it in about a month ago, and they just sent it back to me this week in the pages, like the laid out format. So now I have to go through that and make sure everything is correct. And then we'll be off to the printers. So still working on the subtitle. So as soon as I have that, I'll let you know. But I'm really, really excited for this book to get out to you soon. So, all right. Let's start at the beginning. Why? Yes, I agree, Linda. I am working on it. Find me some publishers in Spain, France, and Italy, and we'll make it happen. Hi, Fabienne from California. It's always like my favorite. It's like such a party. We got to have an in real life gathering. I'm trying to think about when and how to do that. So, okay, where do I want to start? I want to start at the beginning. Why did I come up with this concept? Why did I start living this way? Okay, let's get into it. So when I first was developing the protocol, this is all step by step for me to try to put my PCOS into remission, right? And as you may remember from reading Woman Code, I was really looking at the intersection of, how we can use nutrients, micronutrients, to manipulate glandular and organ function of the body, to manipulate it in positive ways, to optimize it, to improve it. And I was also then looking at the endocrine system and saying, well, how do we use, so that was micronutrients, and how do we use macronutrients to really stabilize the core functionality of the endocrine system? So things like our blood sugar management, our stress response, and the metabolism, the breakdown of key hormones, right? How do we use big food groups to do that? And then how do we use specific micronutrients to get your thyroid to work better, to get your, ovaries to work better, etc. And that's how the first 3 steps of the protocol were created, right? And of course, as many of you have gone through monthly flow or you've done the first 3 steps of the protocol, they're really effective in really resetting the endocrine system's function. And it's not that hard, and it works across the board regardless of whether you have PCOS or endometriosis or fibroids. It's really about just stabilizing and allowing the body, the endocrine system and the hormonal system of the body to come back into homeostasis. Okay, great. But then I said, I need a way to stay in remission, right? I've gotten this kind of system down, but now that my cycle is regulated, I want to factor in the hormonal experience of my cycle, the biochemical reality of the cycle. It changes. There are distinct hormonal patterns, right? So it's basically like 3 levels deep, right? Level 1 is micronutrients to make the glands work better. Level 2 is once those are nourished properly, then you have a shot at supporting the major functions. Level 2, the major functions of the endocrine system. Then level 3 is how do we support each phase of the cycle so that you never get back to a place where the cycle's out of whack and then blood sugar's out of whack and stress response is out of whack and micronutrients are deficient. How do we not backslide into all of that and needing to do a whole heroic, cleanup again? I really wanted to get off the hamster wheel of always working on myself, right? I always just felt like for years I was always starting a diet or starting a fitness plan and stopping because at some point I just couldn't do it anymore, or it just stopped working or it never worked. And I wanted to just get off that hamster wheel of starting and stopping and all of that altogether. And so that's sort of what led me to keep pushing in my research to try to figure out, well, what kinds of foods can we use to stabilize the 4 phases of the cycle. So I was looking at, different things at that time, specifically Chinese 5-element theory and their thousands of years of research on how specific foods can really impact different organ systems of the body, and how specific foods can actually warm or cool the body, support or destabilize different systems and organs of the body. So it's really that I was looking at that, and then I was also looking at how they organized food. They categorized food into the seasons, which makes a lot of sense, right? Certain foods make more sense to eat in the summer versus the winter. And when I looked at those seasons, and then I was looking at the biochemical shifts that took place in our body across the cycle, the seasons in nature matched up exactly to the seasons inside of our bodies, of course, because we are sort of a fractal geometric piece of Mother Nature, right? You as a woman have the life force of Mother Nature's planetary cycle inside of you in your menstrual cycle. So it sort of clicked for me that why wouldn't we use foods to support each of these inner seasons of the hormonal cycle to promote good production of each hormonal ratio, to help metabolize excess hormones, to work on stabilizing our energy levels as our metabolism slows down and speeds up throughout the cycle, to use food to help us address the fact that the body gets hotter and colder throughout the cycle. And then, of course, that then turned into also, well, now we have to change our exercise. And then it turned into, and also now my brain chemistry is really firing on all cylinders. What can I do to go with the flow of my creativity and my productivity? And it all just clicked. And I said, my goodness, this is a system in and of itself. And I called it the cycle syncing system. And that's how that was born, and that it's something I've been using now for almost 20 years, and it's what has kept my PCOS in remission, and is how I, have been able to not only take good care of myself in a way that's sustainable throughout my busy life, but also to really do and create as much as I want to do in my life, because I like to create, right? As all women do, right? That's the interesting thing, right? If you think about like what is the symbology of or the symbolism of the womb, right? It's this. Some people call it the fertile void, or the sort of like the empty vessel, right? And from this empty container, new things emerge, grow, develop, and emerge. And it's creation, right? It's this sort of process of creating from something from nothing. And I really enjoy that process because it's very natural for women to do that. In fact, I think you could think of a million examples in your own life and in the lives of other women that you admire and know, in the media, that just have this sort of ability to just create something from nothing, and that it changes our cultural norms in such positive ways. And I really do admire that aspect so much of being female. And of course, that's not what we're told, right? We're told, the cycle, it's going to cause all sorts it's a deficit, so try to ignore it as much as possible. It's a liability, so try to pretend like it's not happening. Do your best to, compartmentalize that as much as possible, and then just try to, be the same every day. And that's the greatest, I think, tool of our oppression as women worldwide, is that we are told we have to be the same each and every day. And if we're not the same, we are failures in various ways. And of course, it makes us crazy and doubt ourselves and think something's wrong, because here we have all these interior changes happening, real biochemical changes that are not in your head, that are natural, that are healthy, that are reliable and predictable. But we're told to ignore them and just eat the same way every day, exercise the same way every day, produce at the same level every day, ignore all the inner, messages of the body and just push those aside and just do the same thing. And what happens when you do that? Well, everybody probably knows well, as I know myself, you burn yourself out, you wear yourself into the ground, and you feel totally disconnected from your joy, your creativity, and your vitality. And everything feels like you're pushing and you're out of the flow, right? So that's why it's so important, because it really does cost us as women so much not to be disconnected from this cyclical experience. It's like, just the worst thing. So I think that the benefits of getting into a cyclical lifestyle, really committing to a cyclical lifestyle, one that honors this biochemical reality, this biochemical clock that you have, really obviously makes you feel better in your body, right? Instead of feeling okay only a few days, you feel good all the time, right? It'll, of course, keep your body in homeostasis. It will give you a sense of more ease, less pushing, more like things are just flowing, right? Everybody's like, why, there's a reason why I called the company Flow. Is actually I renamed the company Flow Living after making this big discovery around the cycle syncing method. And I just thought, oh yeah, that's the whole secret. The secret is getting yourself back in the flow of your hormones, and then in the flow of sort of like this creative force of nature that you are, and in the flow of, serendipity and magic in your life. That's really the whole point. So Flow Living, that's the little story behind the name. I have personally benefited from this in every area of my life, and I kind of want to break down. We already talked about the food piece. I can talk a little bit more about it, but I want to kind of go through food, exercise, productivity, sex, relationships, and manifestation, right? Because you're all here probably doing big things, and how can you use this whole cyclical aspect of yourself to your advantage in every aspect of your life? And the reason why this is on my mind is because we're opening the doors again to Flow 28 this weekend before the start of the new month, and I just I wanted to make sure that everybody had like a little way to get started on doing this, because I'm just so excited to welcome a new cohort of cycle syncing ladies. So food is a core piece of the cycle syncing method, obviously, because you have to be supporting these different phases of the cycle with your nutrition to help, again, deal with metabolic changes in your body. For specifically, your metabolism slows down in the first half of the cycle and speeds up in the second half of the cycle. And you have to change how quantity of what you're eating and the types of carbohydrates that you're eating for this to be something that keeps your body functioning optimally. You cannot eat the same foods first half of the cycle that you can the second half. The second reason why is that you also have fluctuating levels of estrogen throughout the month, and without eating the right foods that help your liver metabolize that estrogen efficiently, you can really start to struggle with symptoms of having too much estrogen, like breaking out during ovulation, or bloating, or major mood issues. And that can be like 3 weeks out of the month that you're dealing with that. So eating strategically for those estrogen fluctuations is such a great side effect of changing up your food as well. So that's great. And then of course, doing all of this, the benefit of doing all of this, supporting your hormones, is of course that you're going to have access to like your energy, your mental focus. You're going to have like, you're going to be where you should be as a healthy woman to start doing whatever it is you want to do creatively. When I say creatively, I mean creating something, whatever that is, at work, at home, without feeling that constant drain on your energy. You're going to be building energy in the energy bank account by really dialing in the food piece. In a similar way, the exercise piece is also a critical foundation of the cycle syncing method, because again, your metabolism changes, over the course of the cycle. Doing the wrong exercise at the wrong time in the cycle can actually cause you to gain weight, gain fat, and lose muscle mass. And what is the point of working out really hard and trying to do it the same intensity every day if that's actually going to cause you to turn on fat storage? Like that's not living smarter in your female body. That's making things unnecessarily harder. And that just makes no scientific sense. So this is the other key piece, is you can really start to enjoy exercise because it's going to be dictated by what the body actually wants in each phase, and you get a lot of change, right? As opposed to having to do the same thing every day, you actually get to change. Like I'm right now on day 2 of my period, and I've just been walking for the past 3 days. I started craving the walks 2 days ago, even though my period started yesterday, and I've just been right in the flow of what is right for my body. And it just is a seamless experience, right? I've had no cramps, I've had no problems, just walking. And I know that when my period's over, maybe like the day after my period's over, I'll probably want to do some dancey cardio stuff again, because I'll be ready for that. The metabolism slows down, so you can actually sustain more intense workouts for longer periods of time, with the right nutrition, of course. And it's exciting. It's just something to look forward to, and also really supports my optimal body weight without me feeling like it's a push or a struggle or a fight. And that's the thing. Carla's asking a question. What's the name of the book? Where can I find all this information? Carla, so my first book is called Woman Code, and you can get that anywhere on Amazon right now, Woman Code. But where you can get all this information are in 2 other key places. One is in the MyFlow app, myflotracker.com. And I'll try to quickly type that for you, myflowtracker.com. This is the first and only cycle syncing app that really tells you all these things I'm telling you now, what to eat, et cetera, how to exercise. But so many of you we have, hundreds of thousands of women who are using the app. And one of the things that I really got loud and clear from you all last year was that you wanted deeper dive, more content on recipes, on workout videos, on time management according to the phases of your cycle. So last year, in the middle of the year, we launched Flow 28, which is the cycle syncing membership. So if you really are ready to, get your cycle syncing practice locked in, right, where it's just like you're in a place of mastery with it and you really learn how to do it. I'm just typing it in. I can't, it's really hard for me to type and talk at the same time. Although I did play piano and sing at some point at the same time, so you'd think that this should work. But it's hard nonetheless. CycleSyncingMembership.com is the website that you want. And if you go to this website now, you can see the information that you need to join up there. So that is what I love about this as well, is that it really puts you in the flow state with your health and your energy. And all of that is great because then you get to do cool things with it, right? What are you going to do? I used to see patients in person when I had my center in Midtown Manhattan. I used to ask a question at the start of every, healing program that we would do. And I would say, if you were to get your health issue resolved and you were to get your energy back and your vitality back, what would you do with that energy and vitality? And I'm asking this question for you to answer for yourself. What would you do with your time if you had full access to your full power, right? You know, like if your phone has no battery in it, it doesn't turn on. Can't do much with it, right? If you charge the thing up, right, you can start doing stuff. You can start interacting with it. You can make things happen. Silly analogy, because I could grab an arm's length. But for you, what would you do with your energy, with your vitality, if you didn't have the continuous experience of, you know, your energy being drained from, you know, hormonal imbalances or symptoms? What would you do? And it's important to answer this question because it's really valuable to have a vision, to start with the end in mind, because the purpose of your life as a woman is not to lose weight. The purpose of your life as a woman is not to perfect your beauty. The purpose of your life as a woman is not to have the perfect wardrobe. These are all distractions, right? Crafted by our cultural narrative to keep you out of creating powerful things in the world, right? You might have the solution to global warming, right? But there's a whole situation that says you have to like look a certain way and blah, 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 blah. And then you have to try this diet or that thing or that workout and try this and look at that. And here's this product. And it's like, there's so much distraction, and none of it, turns out, is based on your actual biochemistry. So some of the information that's coming out in my next book is going to be talking about actually how so much of the diet and fitness research is actually done on men, but it is marketed to women. So here you are trying the keto diet or the paleo diet or a specific high intensity interval training workout, and it's all based on research on men. So of course it's not working for you. Of course you feel stuck. Of course you start and stop and feel like you're a failure. But it's not you, it's the systems that you're trying to fit yourself into. When nature gave you a perfect system for you to adhere to, right? Your cyclical pattern is the ideal pattern for you to base your eating, your exercise on. But then, of course, it lets you do other things, like, let's say you want to feel like you can achieve more, but not feel overwhelmed and stressed out. You know, that's a big one for me. I'm the daughter of immigrants who have like intense work ethic, and I also grew up in New England, and there's like a lot of work ethic in the New England, you know, kind of culture. And so for me, you know, constantly doing something all the time is like, you know, in there. And it's not normal to be like that. It's not normal to push all the time. It's meaning it's not found anywhere in nature that you are in a perpetual state of growth, right? Like, let's think, you know, you like plant a seed, and the seed has to like relax in the dirt for a while and germinate, get all ready to go. Then it sprouts, then it grows, then it blossoms, then you harvest the flower or the food or the berry, and then the plant returns to the soil and rests, and the soil rests, and then the whole cycle starts over. So similarly, you can't just, even though you can think at the speed of light, you can't act at the speed of thought. And you have to really give yourself a structure in which to create in a way that doesn't burn you out. And that's the other thing I love about cycle syncing. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me protected from my tendency to overwork, overcommit myself, get too stressed out, doing too much. I organize certain projects, whether that be, for example, last week, like you all know, I'm on day 2 of my bleed. So 4 days ago, you know, before my bleed started, I found myself like really needing to do some domestic stuff, I had to organize a certain section of my daughter's bedroom, and I had to organize my utensils drawer in the kitchen because it was just it was like exploding. And so I had to redo that. Had to do it. Had to happen. It was causing me, it was taking up mental space. I also had to get a couple of things out for financial documents out because it's tax season here in the US, and I had to do that. And I was really getting things done like that. And it was in the flow of that. That felt good. I was happy to do it. I didn't want to do anything else. I just want to do those things. Now I'm in my menstrual phase. I'm in my bleeding phase. After I finish up with you ladies here, I'm going to go have a chiropractic adjustment, and I'm going to go do this really cool thing. I'll share more about it at a future time, where you work with the different hemispheres of your brain to have them align a little bit more. And I'm going to go do that because during your bleed, the hemispheres of your brain are actually communicating with each other most optimally. So I want to take advantage of that today. So I'm not really doing huge, like new work today. I'm really reflecting on the month as a whole. I'm really aligning my productivity with where I'm at in my cycle and my self-care as well, which makes it all sustainable. So instead of my past way of thinking about it, when I was in sort of the male paradigm, the 24-hour paradigm, I'd be like, oh, well, I have to do all these things all at once right now. Feeling like everything has to be done right now is not sustainable, and anybody who's a productivity or time management expert will tell you you will fail, and multitasking causes brain damage from all the neuropsychologists out there. So we know that that's not the right way to go about it. But for women, we have to really look to our hormonal cycle to give us the framework, the 4-phase framework, to help us be our most creative and productive selves in a way that doesn't actually cause us to become fried, frazzled, harried, stressed, and short-circuiting. Because that's what happens when you try to squeeze your 4-week process into a 24-hour paradigm. You short circuit. I know I was short circuiting back in the day, didn't work. This is working so much better. I'm almost 20 years into this practice, and it's one of the key reasons why I've been able to do so much without burning out. So I love that piece of it too. I'll touch a little bit on sex and relationships. I'll also touch a little bit on motherhood too. I feel passionately about the conversation about cycle syncing and our sex drive because so many of us, again, just like we think we're supposed to eat the same way every day and exercise the same way and produce at the same rate every day, we're also under the impression, thanks to pornography that's oriented for men, that we're supposed to feel the same level of desire each and every day. And that's just not biochemically the case, right? You have fluctuating hormones that absolutely change your sexual desire and response, and they are predictable. You should know about them, and you should work with them to optimize and maximize your pleasure for yourself, and if you're in a relationship, with your partner, right? It just makes good logical sense. So that's another fun aspect of really getting in tune with your cycle, is that not only while you're using the food and the exercise to keep your hormones balanced, then your balanced hormones actually support you having an even more robust sexual response when you're supposed to, which is really nice. And from a relationship point of view too, I mean, I've been married, I've been with my husband for 10 years? More? We've been together for since 2008. So yeah, going on 11 years this spring. And we've been married for half of that time. So one of the things that really keeps things moving in our relationship is that the conversations that come up, or the things that we're doing, or the dates that we're going on, the activities that we're choosing, are all curated based on where I am in my cycle. So, for example, tonight we have chess club for the little kids. We have a little small group of chess there's like 3 of them. They get together every week and they play these little games of chess with the teacher. It's really cute. I organized it because I'm a nerd for my daughter and I thought it would be fun. And since it's right after school, and then as soon as chess is over, they have to eat. So every week we rotate, and one of the moms makes dinner, and it's so adorable, and the kids love it. It's like a little Thursday night chess party, dinner party thing. So I'm on day 2 of my period. I'm not in the mood for toddler time this week, and so my husband and I had a quick conversation. He's going to do dinner for the kids, and I'll be home right as they're leaving, or after they've left, and that's really going to work out today. Now, other times, if let's say I'm ovulating, I'll be the one to do the dinner, and I'll send him out to go do something that he wants to do, or he'll stay because he feels like staying, whatever. But as a result, there's no like me ever feeling like, oh, I'm always doing something I don't want to do. We change what we're doing based on where I am, so we don't have unnecessary friction in our relationship, and that is really cool. Oh, Katie is talking about how her husband took her rock climbing because the Flow Living app, the MyFlow app, sent him from the Partner Sync feature. It was a week. She was in her follicular week, Katie, I'm assuming, and there was a week to try new things, and it was so awesome, and he surprised you, and it made you feel like he was being really thoughtful and just giving you the right thing at the right time. I mean, that is such a cool aspect of living in the flow of your cyclical patterns, is that it really makes everything better. And I have to say, I wasn't sure, because I wasn't yet a mother, how I would apply this to being a mother. But now that I am one, I can tell you that it is such a gift to be coming at my practice, or my practice of mothering from a cyclical perspective. You know, like today, what's best for my daughter is for me to go and really recharge my batteries and do self-care, because that's where I'm at in my cycle, so that, you know, this weekend, you know, by Sunday when my period's over, you know, I'll have energy to spare for her. If I don't replenish and recharge my batteries and put my mask on first, right, as they say, that put your oxygen mask on first before you put somebody else's on, then I might feel drained and cranky this weekend, and that's not fair to her, since I know that this is what I need to recharge my batteries. Why wouldn't I do that for myself, and why wouldn't I do that for her? But then equally as much in the first half of my cycle, you know, then I get really into like, what kinds of activities can we do, and crafts and fun things. And, you know, during my luteal phase, I'll definitely do a cooking project with her. It affects how I might, what kinds of conversations I'll have with her about how she should learn how to process her emotions, because again, she's 4 and that's the stage that she's at, or some basic discipline around, you know, you can't kick people, or whatever it is, like, you know, whatever we have to do. I come at it through the lens of the phase that I'm in, and it makes me feel more relaxed. I can be myself. I'm free to love her in a way that's honoring where I am as a person, meaning I can shed the oppressive shackles of the perfect mom situation, right? We have to be the same all the time. We have to be like, yay, bright and cheery all the time, and like have the cooking party and have the dance party and have the craft party and have the kids over and be happy homemaker and doing all the things all the time. And, you know, that just ain't reality, sister, as many of you who are moms will know. And what's nice is, instead of pretending like that you want that to be the case, or attempting to make that the case, and then crashing and then feeling guilty because then you're not giving the way that you want to your children. Instead, what I have been finding is working with my cyclical patterns really lets me stay present, energized, and lovingly engaged with my child. So it's such a gift to use the cyclical patterns in that experience as well. And then lastly, you know, I wrote a big article about this, I believe on Well and Good, at the start of the new year, maybe like 2 years ago, about how living cyclically can really help you manifest, right? All of us, I'm sure, have purchased books or courses or attended retreats and workshops to help you manifest your dreams. It's been a big part of the conversation in the self-help community for a long time. And I really take a scientific approach to that because while I believe that visualizing things absolutely helps you bring things into existence, I really love the grounded aspect of the fact that, like I said at the beginning of this session, you contain the creative forces of Mother Nature inside of your cyclical patterns. So of course, if you're going to bring anything to life, if you're going to manifest anything, it's going to follow that pattern of setting your intentions, right? Planting the seed, of, talking about it, getting people engaged, coming out with this idea, right, in some way where you're using communication and being around people, which is like the growth stage, the blossoming and the growth stage. And then you're going to be harvesting, right, tending to it, watching it, making sure it's okay, and then at the right moment really, harvesting it, receiving what you've created. And then you're going to rest. Right? You have to, and celebrate. This 4-part process of manifesting is, what I'm sure you've read in other manifesting, information, but it happens to exactly map onto your 4 phases of your cycle every month. So, right now I'm in my menstrual phase and I am literally going to do lots of nothing for the next 2 days, right? I'll do what I have to do from a work point of view, that's bare minimum. And then I'm going to reflect and meditate and chill out, because I would really like to know and get in touch with what is it that I want to create next month? What's important to me? What's going to come from my heart that I want to really bring to life in the coming month, because I've got a new cycle that's about to start. And that's so exciting to be able to do that every month. You don't have to wait to manifest your dreams, every new year. You can do it every new moon, right? As if you're according to the lunar calendar, the lunar phases, you would be ovulating on the full moon and menstruating on the new moon. Of course, we have information in the blog about you can ovulate on the full moon, ovulate on the new moon, and menstruate on the full moon. Anyway, you don't have to be in sync with the lunar phases, although that is fun. But this idea of manifesting is all about starting from the blank space, and the new moon is that kind of like fresh start, right? So whether or not you want to attach the lunar conversation to this, it's really about, let's clean the canvas. Let's wipe the canvas clean. The womb is shedding her lining, cleaning the canvas. What seeds do you want to plant this coming cycle? What do you want to bring into fruition? And it could be something really simple like, I just want to eat and exercise according to my phases and see what kind of energy shift I can see. Or I just want to really make sure that I'm doing the right self-care in each phase, so I really feel like I'm taking better care of myself this month. Or one that I've been working on for a while is I want to really dial in what kinds of fun things I like to do, fun activities each week, so that I'm really having lots of fun all the time. That can be a goal. It doesn't have to be this huge thing like you're going to write a book in a month or do something huge like that. It can be small, grounded, practical things that are heart-centered to you, what you really need. And it keeps you really connected to your body and your heart, which provides you with so much wisdom and always leads you in the right direction, as opposed to thinking your way into things like, I should do this, I should be the same every day, I should do all this stuff that I'm supposed to do to achieve and be successful, and it's all coming from here, completely disconnected from your cyclical pattern. Oftentimes, as you've experienced in your own life, when you do live from this sort of like, trying to be the same every day cerebral place, only living from the neck up, you take sometimes wrong turns. you feel kind of stuck or jammed, or you don't feel like it's easy, feels staticky. And if you start to kind of practice, that's the thing about practicing the food piece, practicing the exercise piece, you are literally staying in your body each and every day. And I needed this. I needed this so much in my life because I was jumping out of my body all the time, in a manner of speaking, right? I was disconnected. I was up here in my head all the time. I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but as a young person, I was like, oh, I got to do all this stuff. I need to be the same every day. I got to lose weight. I got to look a certain way. I got to succeed. I have to be, on the go all the time. I have to be the same. And I was so disconnected, and I needed a practice not only to stay connected to my biochemistry, to leverage that for my health, to stay in remission with my PCOS, but I needed it because I need to stay in my body, because everything in my culture and my life, up until that point, was telling me that I wasn't safe in my body. It wasn't okay to be in my female body, that it was a liability, that it was some, problem. So I was kind of energetically disconnecting from that. And it was really blocking my creativity and my success in a big way. And the practice of like the simple little things, taking a walk today versus forcing myself to do strength training. Seems like a simple little thing, but it keeps my energy continuously where it should be, my mental state continuously positive, and I can keep moving forward like the rotating wheel of a bicycle. I pick up speed instead of trying to work against this cycle and slowing myself down. I continuously pick up speed, and it always comes from this grounded, heart-centered place that's integrated, mind, heart, and body, right? Not just mind only. And I think that's such a gift to give yourself. I know it's been such a healing piece for me to live this way, and to heal from our cultural narrative that is, leaves us out of it altogether as women. It's been a really deeply healing process. So, well, I didn't have much to say about the cycle syncing methodology at all, did I? I am so glad that that we have. Thanks, Carol Ann. That is so nice to hear. I have to say, being someone who's dedicated the past 20 years of her career to being on the forefront of this conversation, and holding this vision in my mind and my heart for what's possible for women's healthcare, it hasn't always been easy. It sometimes has been lonely, and it really does mean so much to me that that this work is helping you, that you share those thoughts and appreciations with me. It's like soul food. So thank you for that nourishment, Carol Ann, and I appreciate that you share that with other people. And for those of you who do the same, thank you so much. And I just so appreciate all the support and the shares. I know a lot of you will tag a picture of your book on Instagram, or tag a friend and share this video with other people, and that really helps. So thank you for doing that, and for writing reviews on the book on Amazon, or on our Facebook page. All those positive reviews really help other women know what's possible. It really means so much to me. So thank you for that. And thanks for sharing every week with me on Facebook Live. I really enjoy our conversations, and of course I'll be back next week with something juicy. I wanted to share before we go this week, because it's the end of the month, we actually have a promotion on the supplements for those of you who have seen these and you have been on the fence as to whether or not you want to try them, or today you've been listening to this whole process of cycle syncing and you realize that the micronutrient piece is something you want to start with. Please check out the Flow Balance supplements. And if you order them today, there's this cycle syncing method bonus where you're going to get the cycle-based smoothie guide. You're going to get my weight loss throughout the cycle guide, and you're going to get my Secrets of Cycle Syncing masterclass. So you just order the Flow Living supplements on our website, send your receipt to support@flowliving.com, and you'll get emailed all the bonuses immediately. So take advantage of that if you want to. But I am so happy that more and more women are waking up to the fact that you have a different biochemical experience than men, and that ignoring it doesn't do you any favors. In fact, can make you very sick, can make you feel crazy, like you're unhappy, and you feel like, why isn't my life working out? It isn't working out because you're not working with your body and your beautiful, genius, powerful biochemistry. And I know I got so passionate about being a woman when I discovered the power of my biochemistry. It was such a healing thing to see that everything I had been taught about being a woman was based on misinformation and bad science. And actually the science really shows just how powerful we are, and how embracing that only adds value to our lives. So I do hope that you check out the cycle syncing method in whichever capacity. You can read about it in Woman Code. You can download the cycle syncing app at myflowtracker.com, or you can join us on Flow 28, the cycle syncing membership.com, and take the deeper dive with us and be part of our private Facebook group and all of that fun stuff. So however you do it, talk about it with your friends, help other women wake up to the power of their biochemistry. And I will see you next time for another hour on how to feel better and live smarter in your female body. Until then, take really good care of yourselves. Bye.